friends, to the Horror Syndicate's Werewolf Weekly Show, formerly known as the Werewolf Wednesday Show. I know it still says Werewolf Wednesday in the intro video, but that will be changing. Anyway, I'm Seth. I am your lichen-friendly host of the Werewolf Weekly Show because I am uh, a wee bit obsessed with werewolves because I think they're awesome and they're uh, undervalued, I think, in the horror genre. And yeah, I just love them. I'm obsessed with them, and I need someone to talk to. And you guys are it. I choose you to be my friends. Uh, so tonight I am talking about Howling V, the Rebirth. It is from a story by Clive Turner. Written, the screenplay is written by Clive Turner and Freddie Rowe, and is directed by Neil Sundstrom. It is not actually based on the novels by Gary Brandner, despite what the opening credits to basically all these films, all 8 of the films, I think, in this franchise, only 2 of them are actually based on or have anything to do with the books at all, and that is Joe Dante's The Howling and Howling IV, the Original Nightmare, both based on the first book from Gary Brandner. The rest of the films do not. This is more. They're more of original stories, I suppose. They just use the Howling name. Um, so the synopsis of this film. So in 1489, an entire group of people were massacred in a castle in Budapest. As those responsible take their last breath, believing that they eradicated the evil, they suddenly learn a terrible truth. Their mission was botched, as someone, a child, had survived. 500 years later, the castle is finally being reopened, and a group of strangers had been invited to attend. As night approaches, the attendees find themselves stalked and killed one by one, and soon discover that they were not selected at random, and that one of them is a werewolf walking secretly among them. That's the basic overall story. I'm even though it's an older film, I'm going to try not to go too heavy into spoilers as I talk about these films. However, when I do get to the section of the show where I talk about werewolf lore, there's a little something I'll probably be bringing up, which if you haven't seen this film yet and you want to, I would recommend probably not watching this show, at least not until after you see it, because even though I'm going to try not to spoil anything, there's going to be some stuff that gets spoiled as I talk about it, in particular with the established lore, but that's going to be a little bit later on in this video. So, going into the pros and the cons of the movie, this is the area where I'm going to be talking about the basic stuff like screenplay, direction, acting, cinematography, stuff to that effect. And then after I do the pros and cons, I will get into the very werewolf-specific categories that I have chosen to cover through these shows as I try to improve the shows and make it very, very werewolf-centric. So going with the pros, I think this movie is easily the second best in the franchise. Quality-wise, it's not anywhere near that of the original film. But I think it is it's the better written sequel. Again, it's not even close to being anywhere near the quality of the original, but I think as far as the direct-to-video sequels go, this, I think, is the strongest out of all of them. I know some people prefer 6, The Freaks, which is actually one that I like as well. Spoiler alert for next week. Some people even like 2 or even 3, better than this one, but in my own personal opinion, I think Howling 5 is the strongest. And I think that's because it's the best written since the original film. And I think that's very surprising because Howling 5 The Rebirth was written by Clive Turner and Freddie Rowe, who had previously written Howling 4 The Original Nightmare. Now, if any of you had watched the show I did last week on Howling 4 The Original Nightmare, you know that I admit that even while it's an objectively bad film, it's one that I kind of give a pass to because it is the closest to the first book. But it is still, Howling 4 is still an objectively bad film, and it's got a lot of really bad, on top of acting, but also bad dialogue and stuff. And so that's where this film surprises me, because you got the same screenwriters and it's actually fairly decent written. And I say that in terms of not only dialogue, but also with story. I can't really diss the story of Howling 4 too much because it is faithful to the first book to a certain extent. But this one I thought was pretty neat. So what I really dig about this movie is the whodunit mystery that is presented here. I think it's got there's many factors that work well together with this film. So you got the whodunit mystery, and then you mix that with the lore that they establish, and the in the setting that this film takes place in. And I think all those put together make this the most unique film in this franchise. And yes, I do like most of the characters in this film as well. There are some that are not well acted or not very well written, but then there's others who are. There's characters who I actually kind of enjoy. I actually do like the humor of the Mary Lou character. And what I mean by the humor of it is that she's just so ditzy, and just the way that people react to her, I think, is kind of funny to me, and it works. I also love the score for this movie. I think some aspects of the score could probably grate on people's nerves after a while, but I just dig I don't know, there's something about this, the score and the sound for this that I just really dig. So yeah, there's a lot I really enjoy about this movie, and it is one that I do rewatch quite often. For me, it's enjoyable, it's rewatchable, and every time I watch it, I really just sit there and watch it. You know, I pay attention to it because I get some enjoyment out of it. I think, as far as this movie goes, I think it may be damned by association. I was going to write an article about this for the horrorsyndicate.com, but I never actually got around to it. But I think this film is better than its reputation, and I think I think this film is damned by the fact that it is a sequel in the Howling franchise. Like, this is one of those franchises that's kind of notorious among horror genre fans as being one of the worst franchises of the genre. And, you know, Howling 2, your sister is a werewolf, aka Howling 2, Stir a Werewolf Bitch. Howling 3, the Marsupials, and Howling 4, the Original Nightmare. They all, I guess those are films that kind of earned that negative reputation for this franchise. And I think it's because of those films that Howling 5 is either underappreciated or maybe just overlooked. Now, it's not like an overly fantastic film, right? It's not superbly directed. It's not, I praise the writing to an extent of this film in terms of story, lore, characters, setting, and sort of like the uniqueness of this being presented as a whodunit. But it's not, a fantastically written script. It's not wonderfully directed. It's not beautifully acted. I, as much as I like this film, yeah, it's not it's not one of the greatest werewolf films of all time. But that being said, I feel like as a standalone werewolf film, uh, I think for the most part, and I'm gonna get to the reason why I say the most part in a second here, but for the most part, I think this film, if it was released on its own, not associated with the Howling films, and if it was, just I don't know, called the Rebirth or something, I think there's a good chance that this film might have actually a slightly bigger following. I think. I think more genre fans would actually kind of be a little more cool to it, because, well, not because, but again, it's one of those films where it's like, you do kind of have to lower your standards a little bit. You have to understand that what this film is a low budget direct to video sequel in the Howling franchise. And it shows. It's you look at this movie and you know that. But I think there's more good to this film than bad, and it's one that I particularly like. Now, it's not very high on my werewolf ranking list of all. What am I at? 138. I think I've seen. I think I have a list of 138 werewolf films ranked. It's probably not in my top 25 or anything like that, but it's one that I just really enjoy. Now, I will have to say as well, getting into the cons of this, my biggest beef with it is there's not enough werewolf, and I think that's obviously, I think it's obvious that we can chalk that up to budget, right? So we only see small glimpses of the werewolf overall. There's not much that happens in terms of werewolf action, and I wish that there was more werewolf. I do enjoy this film for what it is, for how it is. Again, I like the mystery, I like the characters, I like the setting. But I just wish that we got to see more of the werewolf, and I wish it had the budget and the production to actually show us the werewolf attacks instead of cutting away every time the werewolf attacks. The werewolf attacks someone screams, and then it cuts away to that part of the score that will likely probably drive a lot of people nuts. But I just wish that this film had enough of a budget to put more of a werewolf in it. Do I think this film works as is, particularly with it being the mystery of, hey, which one of these people is the werewolf? Yeah, sure. But that's my biggest beef is not enough werewolf. We don't get a good enough glimpse at the werewolf, and there's not enough of the werewolf in it. I think there is at times where it is, the editing is weird, particularly around the moments where the wolf strikes. And again, it's them, the filmmakers, Neil Sudstrom and Clive Turner, trying to, I guess, piece together this story and on a limited budget and make things work. But it's just weird. It's just weird. So gotta find my sheet. Where'd I put my sheet? I gotta wait. I have my hold on one second, guys. If anyone's watching. So going over like the more basic, well, not basic, but going over my specific werewolf talking point categories or whatever for this show. Uh, so getting into the werewolf of it. What's the type of werewolf in this film? Is it bipedal, quadrupedal, man-wolf hybrid, traditional wolf, or other? I think this is clearly a bipedal, um, if I remember correctly, or is it quadrupedal in this one? I'm pretty sure it's a bipedal, but again, we don't really get to see enough of the werewolf. Um, werewolf design impressions. Again, we don't see enough of the werewolf, so it's difficult. We do get, you know, we do get to see a little bit of it, and it is on, you know, the posters um, up there. Um, I mean, I think that looks kind of cool. Not the greatest, but looks decent. Again, I wish we got to see more of it. And again, going along with that too is werewolf action. When the werewolf attacks, it's screaming and then cut away. Not, you know, there's not a lot of werewolf action in this movie. It's more about these characters, how they interact with each other, as you know, one by one they are picked off, and it becomes apparent that, you know, there's something up. Werewolf transformation, there is none. Uh, there is none. Slight spoiler, but the character who is revealed at the very, very tail end of the movie um, is revealed by a look at the camera. The eyes being, I think the character's eyes are yellow, and there's a smirk. There is no werewolf transformation. Werewolf sound effects are basic. They're fine. Howls and growls are fine. Not the worst I've heard. Not the best. It the werewolf doesn't. I think the werewolf works as like the sound effects works to present the werewolf as threatening and as a savage, but nothing that really kind of like chills me or anything like that. Werewolf lore. I think this is probably one of the strongest points of the movie. Um, so I really love the lore that is established in this film. So in the very beginning, you have this couple who killed everyone in the castle, and then they go to take themselves out, believing that they, you know, did what they did to rid the land of the evil of the wolves. And then as they take their last breath, right, they hear a baby cry. And so they realize their mission is botched. They die, the baby lives, the evil of the werewolves live on. I really like that. And then getting into the kind of spoiler aspect of this. So, you know, just be warned, I know it's an older film from like 1989. I still want to try to be as vague as possible, but I have no choice but to kind of bring this one thing up that I like about the werewolf lore as well, is that each of these characters, they were not selected at random. I like the idea that each of them has a similar birthmark on their arm, and that they are all basically descendants of that surviving child from the opening, uh, but only one of them happens to be a werewolf. And um, I just really like that. I think more effort was put into the werewolf lore in this film, in terms of like the background and the kind of the ancestry of it all, more so than any of the previous ones. Howling, I mean, Howling 2 and 3, they do have their own, you know, lore, um, but they're not quite as good as this. Uh, so yeah, those are the categories that I chose. Um, my overall thoughts on the movie, before I get into the comments from everyone who has commented tonight. Um, Yeah, my overall thoughts is that I find this movie to be engaging and enjoyable. It's not a movie that will overly wow you, but it is one that I enjoy rewatching on occasion. It's a flawed, low budget direct to video sequel, but it's one that I think has more good than bad. Um, Again, I think it has a uniqueness to it in terms of story, lore, setting, uh, even score wise. This is the most unique in the franchise, and it's a I think in general it's a pretty unique werewolf film. Uh, I know it's similar to another film. I think it was from the 70s, 60s or 70s, called "The Beast Must Die," uh, where there is like this mystery, but they are very different too. Because in that one, there is like one person who's like determined to find out which one of these people is a werewolf. Whereas this one, not quite as much. But yeah, I think this is my favorite Howland sequel. It's one that I enjoyed rewatching. I think there's obviously not so great stuff with it. You know, it's a film that if you watch it for the first time, I think you have a better time if you accept it for what it is. Accept the fact that it is a low budget direct to video uh, follow up, and that it's flawed. But I think there's enough in this film with its uniqueness to to grab people. I think I seriously believe that this film is damned by association, as I mentioned earlier on tonight, because I think if you take out the Howland title and you just set this to the side as its own individual single servant movie, uh, you know, it's not going to make anyone's like top 10 list, I don't think, for werewolf films, but I think more people would be open to this had it not been associated with Howland and its reputation, thanks to 2, 3, and 4. So those are my overall thoughts and my basic review of Howland 5, The Rebirth, a film that I really did and still do enjoy quite a bit. Before I get into the comments, I do want to show off a couple things from my collection. I forgot to grab the DVD. It's over there, so it's just a basic. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna grab it. Give me 1 second. So, showing off what I have as far as collection of for Howland 5. I have the VHS. Uh, my favorite video store here in town closed down many years ago. I think before even my kids were born, and it was either my parents or my friend Josh who found when they were selling their stock of stuff. He went in and he found Howland 5 and Howland 6 on VHS and got them for me. I don't remember who it was. It was either my parents or my friend. Can't can't recall. I got a bad memory because I'm old. But yeah, this is a pretty cool VHS. I also have this Howland 5 and 6 double DVD. It's it's one of those where it's like one disc, two films. I think the funny thing about this, and I mentioned this, I think I mentioned this when I talked about Howland 4 with the the lack of care in the DVD releases. Um, I think this is more. I don't know if this one is particularly lack of care, or just someone just it didn't double check. But on the back, I don't know if you can see this, probably because of the reflection and the fact that it shake a lot. But it says that Howland 5, The Rebirth, came out in 1991, and Howland 6, The Freaks, came out in 1989. So it's supposed to be the reverse. Howland 5 came out in 89, Howland 6 was 91. But I just think it's funny that this DVD, I was hoping to get a, so you could see for yourself. I don't know if you can see that there. 1991. 1989. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then finally, just like with Howling 4, I got the German media book Blu-ray DVD combo. Um, I love this cover art. Actually, I got a picture of it here on StreamYard that I will pop up. But yeah, this is just really cool. It's got the DVD, Blu-ray, and a little booklet in between, but it's all written in German, and I don't know German, so I can't read it. But it's still cool. It's still cool to have. Paid a lot, but I tell you what, these Blu-rays look really good. Putting in my DVD, it's like box format, very grainy, like almost like VHS quality. Uh, the Blu-rays that I have for Howling 4 and 5, the German media book releases, they look great. Good transfers, fit my entire big TV. Picture and sound quality look really good. I just really love having these. And I will show actually the cover art in case you couldn't get a good look there from the glare from my lights. But yeah, I mean, it's not really huge, but I really like this cover. I think that's pretty badass. So anyway, now I'll get into the comments that I gotta catch up on here. So starting off with our good friend Sean Sheridan, Irish Sean as I call him, who has his own movie ranking and reviews YouTube channel. Check him out. Thick Irish accent, but good dude. He says, well, I rank the Howling franchise quite an experience, and yes, Howling 7 is another level bad to the rest of the franchise. Random flashbacks from other movies mixed in with line dancing. See, I told you. I told you. When you were saying that you didn't think it could get worse than Howling 6, I told you. It's cool that you did a ranking. Is it up on your channel yet? I haven't checked YouTube. I was very busy today. I had to take my youngest daughter up north for a 2-hour trip up there, 2-hour trip back. Long day. Irish Sean also says it's up there with Freddy Got Fingered in the Room and American Werewolf in Paris. And I always know what you did last summer and Exorcist 2 and movies I give a 1-star rating. I could see most of those. I would argue I think American Werewolf in Paris is at least a 2-star. My own personal opinion. Pure dog shit movie, Howling 7. I know. It's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for me to rewatch. I give it like a very small credit for one thing, but goddamn the fucking line dancing. The line dancing. That will give you nightmares. Howling 5, the one sequel that got a 3-star rating. The castle setting gave it a flavor to it. I enjoyed. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear. I think 3 stars is perfectly reasonable for Howling 5. So, and I'm glad that you seem to agree with me on. I can't remember if I don't think you liked 2 or 3 or 4. So, would you agree with me that Howling 5 is the second best? Rain says, "Hey Seth, see you soon." Woo. Hey, how's it going? Rain also says, "Seth, I know you're actually a werewolf. Stop trying to hide it." B-list werewolf movies. The secret is out. You got me. You got me. I am actually a werewolf, and I'm just trying to show that werewolves matter as well, and that I can't say we're only human, but we are. We're not. No, I can't go with it. John says pros VHS DVD cover art. Yeah, actually, I do like the I do like the original cover art a little bit. But yeah. lot of werewolf in it, the movie, but it's still great. It's my favorite Howling single. Yeah, so I'm in complete agreement with that. Um, Not enough werewolf, um, but it's my favorite how blah 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 the Howling sequel. This reminds of Hellraiser 5. It's a decent movie lumped in with the rest of the trash pile. That's actually a good point. That is a good point. I haven't seen The Beast Must Die yet, but the synopsis sounds the same as Howling 5. Yeah, uh, it's very close, but they're also very different from each other. I think the premise of group of strangers being brought together, one of them is a werewolf. Uh, I think that's um, where the comparisons begin and end. But yeah, The Beast Must Die is pretty good. I was disappointed in it on the werewolf side of it, but I'll talk about that when I cover that movie down the road. I did enjoy Howling Reborn. Not a good movie, but I enjoy a teen romance movie, and I thought the chemistry between the main two was good. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think the werewolves look good in that, especially towards the end. Um, yeah. No, keep the Howling title. I got you, but I mean, you understand my point, though, right? The point I was trying to make about how Howling 5 is sort of damned by association with the franchise. That's the whole point. I think this movie works as it is. It's it is a Howling film as far as I'm concerned, but I'm just saying I think this. I guess we would call it my own personal theory that this film is damned by association. I'm sure that there's a lot of people who don't like it for other reasons, legit reasons, in terms of the couldn't get into it because of the film quality being so bad. Um, there's that as well, but you know what I mean. Yes, so good. That VHS is amazing. Yes, it is. The artisan release of Howlin' 5.6 is higher quality than the timeless media release. Oh, cool. Oh, that German media book is sweet. Worth it. Absolutely. 100%. Rain says, I agree. I feel this movie gets a bad rep just as American Wolf in Paris. If it wasn't a sequel to American Wolf in London, it wouldn't get such a bad rap. Same as the Rebirth. Agreed, Seth. I agree. I agree with you, and I agree with me. Love for American Wolf in Paris. Yeah, I think American Wolf in Paris is fun. It's just yeeks. I did the Howlin' ranking last Friday. Oh, cool. I am behind. Far behind then. I haven't seen actually anything from your channel pop up. So I'll have to kind of look into that. Two, I had some fun with. Christopher Lee, I hated. Three, four was boring as can be. I softened on Howlin' 6 after sleeping on it. It ain't a good movie, but the carnival thing gave it some flavor, which I give uh, credit. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm actually really looking forward to watching your Howlin' ranking video. I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. I hated it in the music in 5. It was not for me. I understand. There's something about it though that I really love, especially in the beginning when they're like on the bus and the bus is driving, and it's a very, uh, the orchestration is really playing. I think the smaller bits like when the werewolves attack, that weird sort of chanting or whatever, uh, that is not so great. But I think there's aspects of the score that I like. I ranked. I personally liked Howlin' 5. It's a very interesting film. Yeah, I agree. I think it is. It's it's got a lot going for it. I think it's unique, unique for the series, fairly unique as a werewolf film. Again, there is a little bit of similarity with The Beast Must Die, but um, I think there's more good to this film than bad. A few werewolf movies to count in London. You drinking, John? You ain't changing my mind on Paris. I hate that movie. I understand, my friend. I understand. And I wouldn't try to change your mind. Uh, I only do this show and any other show here on the Horror Syndicate just to express my opinion. I'm not looking to change anyone's mind, just offer my perspective. And we will disagree on stuff. I like American Wolf in Paris as a fun, guilty pleasure film. You like Wolfman 2025. I think we can call that even. Helen Reborn was at number 3, so you may not like my ranking. Well, I mean, it's fine. Like when I like check out other people's rankings, like either in written form uh, or YouTube videos, I actually enjoy and I understand that everyone's rankings is their own personal opinion. I don't watch or read that stuff being like, they need to agree with me or I'm not going to like them. I enjoy most rankings. You know, there's some rankings where it's like, wow, how could they think that? But, you know, you got to think that is their own personal opinion. So I'm fine with that. And especially with the ones where the people at least give a reason why, you know, they feel one way or another, even in simple short form. So I have no problem with different of opinions. So I'm looking forward to your ranking regardless, my friend. I missed the subspecies episode. I had never heard of those movies. You should check them out. Ray said that they were all on Tubi. 90s, you know, vampire films. Uh, yeah, I think they're very cool, especially the first three. The first three subspecies films, I think, are a must watch. Um, but after that, maybe not so much. I had a bit of fun tearing Howling 7 apart. There is one positive. Is it the fact that they at least attempted to connect every sequel together? Because that's like the one positive that I give it. Other than that, the fucking line dancing, the complete and total lack of a werewolf, the awful transformation, and the line dancing. Yeah, it's a hard movie to watch. That being said, if I could get my hands on a physical copy of it, I would. Just to complete my collection. Not because I'm a secret fan who likes to watch that movie every night. Uh, everyone had different opinions. Let's say I strongly disagree on Ray's love for Christopher Nolan, but I respect it. Yeah, that is true. I mean, Ray and I have we've we've had some pretty strong disagreements on stuff, but we're still friends. Um, yeah, so I got through everybody's comments. So yeah, Howling 5, uh, unique werewolf film. Uh, love the setting, the story, the whodunit mystery. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the score. I wish there was a little bit more werewolf action. I wish there was a little bit more of the werewolf in it, but I understand probably for budget reasons they couldn't. But it is what it is. I strongly like this movie, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Uh, and so, saying that, there's probably going to be some people who think I'm crazy, and they're not wrong. Or are they right or not right? Or am I wrong? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. And yeah, if there's no more comments, I'm gonna bounce on out of here. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to say, but just once again showing off this stuff. Howling 5 VHS, very cool. Howling 5 and 6 combo with a error on the back saying that Howling 5 came out in 1991, but Howling 6 came out in 1989. It's weird to do sequels backwards, but that's their prerogative. I'm kidding. It's clearly in there. And then the German media book, uh, worth the money I paid for it. Picture and quality, uh, picture and sound quality are really good for it. Cool cover art, and yeah. So anyway, that looks to be it. No other comments are coming in. Thank you to everyone who watched and chimed in. Thank you to Sean, Irish Sean, as I call him. Check out his channel, Sean Sheridan Movie Rankings and Reviews. Thick Irish accent, but good dude. Thank you to Joran, to Rain, to John Stoffer, and I believe that is everyone who commented. And thank you to everyone who watches this after it's live on your own time. Very much appreciate the views and giving me an opportunity to talk about these films. Much appreciated. You know, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up, or you could hit the thumbs down if you want, and subscribe if you haven't. If you're watching on Facebook, you can you can like it with a thumbs up or whatever. You can do the angry emoji, the laugh emoji, the heart emoji, the care emoji, the wow face emoji, whatever you want to do. And let me know what you think of Howling 5 The Rebirth. Do you agree with me that it's the best sequel? Do you think that it's not, that it's good, but maybe not quite as good as any other sequel? Do you find it to be just an overall bad movie? Uh, could you not get through it? You know, let me know. Let me know your experience with 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 uh with Howling 5. I'm very curious to know what everyone thinks of it. Uh, Before I go, a couple more comments here. Uh, Sean says Ginger Snaps next. I enjoy that movie. Reminds me of becoming a young woman. Yeah. Yep. Once I'm done with the Howling franchise, I am covering the Ginger Snaps trilogy. So that should be fun. I haven't seen them in a while. Love the Howling movies. Same here. Same here. So thank you, uh, Mario, for commenting. I couldn't tell if it was Mario or Maria. Apologize. So I had to look really hard at the screen. um, Always a good time, Seth. Awoo. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, so everyone have a good night. And like, share, whatever you want to do. Tell your friends about the Horror Syndicate. Tell your friends about Werewolf Weekly. And uh, thank you again to everyone. So have a great night. And I was going to quote American Werewolf in London, but I forgot what I was going to say. So, oh, I know. A naked American man stole my balloon.